What we're witnessing today in Iran is not chaos, it's not random, nor it is sudden. It is the natural result of a long chain of betrayals. Let me take you back for a moment, back to January 2011, during the Egyptian revolution in the Arab Spring. The supreme leader of Iran stood on a platform and openly incited Egyptians to revolt against President Mubarak. He accused him of serving America and Israel, of besieging Gaza, and of betraying his own people. Iran encouraged the Arab Spring. Iran celebrated the Arab Spring, and it also fueled it. But history has a habit of circling back. Fast forward to today. Now it is Iran itself that is burning. We see images that would have been unthinkable just a few years ago. Iranians burning pictures of the supreme leader in public, on camera, without any fear. Compare this to older protesters where demonstrators hit their faces. The difference is not really courage, it's the finality. The slogans have changed. It's no longer debt to America. It is now debt to the Imam, which is the supreme leader. And listen carefully to the most dangerous chant of all. Reza Shah, may God have mercy on you. Prince, O Prince, the people of Iran are calling you. This is not nostalgia. This is more like revenge. The protesters are not embracing monarchy because they love it. They're embracing it because it is the opposite of what the supreme leader system stands for. They're searching for a symbol, and they found one in Reza Pahlavi, the son of the Shah. When Reza Pahlavi called on people to protest on a specific day, something extraordinary happened. They actually listened, not because he commands power, but because the streets were leaderless. When people are drowning, they just grab to the closest lifeline. And this terrified the regime. Despite arrests, despite killings, despite thousands detained, the protest did not stop. According to human rights groups, hundreds have been killed, but force no longer works. And here's the irony. Iran is now facing the very first Arab Spring it once supported. Yes, be careful with numbers. Media exaggeration does exist, and we saw this in Egypt. But exaggeration does not erase reality. Mahsa Amini was real, her death was real, and the anger was real as well. So what changed this time, you might ask? One single thing. America entered the equation. For the first time, protesters were told openly, continue, we're behind you, and suddenly, Europe remembered human rights in Iran after forgetting them for 47 years. So ask yourself this question. Is this really about freedom, or is it about Iran's 200 billion barrels of oil? Because at some point, whomever controls Iran will also control Yemen, Lebanon, Iraq, and Syria. Now pause here because this is really important. Israel named one of its operations the Rising Lion. And you might think, what does a lion has to do with anything? Well, the lion here is the symbol of Iran before the Islamic Revolution. Before Khomeini erased it, the message was clear. This is not just pressure, it's really preparation. So let's ask the uncomfortable question. Is the alternative better? Does the Shah regime came to power through coup, foreign pressures, and Western alliances? When Prime Minister Mossadegh tried to nationalize Iranian oil, he was removed in a CIA-backed operation. Then came the Savak, one of the most brutal intelligence agencies in the region. Torture, surveillance, fear, killing, you name it. And when the Islamic Revolution came, what changed? Well, the name of the organization changed, the uniform changed, but the oppression did not. Savak was dismantled but replaced with multiple security monsters. The Revolutionary Guards, the Quds Force, intelligence services, the Basij militia, and ideological street army. So every protest ended the same way. 2009, 2019, 2022, and now massacres. So understand this clearly. The Iranian people are being forced to choose between identical systems in a way, the Shah or the Imam. No third options, no political middle ground, no real parties, no real choice. How sad is that? Now, let's talk solutions. Releasing prisoners too late, expanding freedom already meaningless, a referendum impossible. Because the supreme leader is not elected by people, he's chosen by God. That is the doctrine. If he accepts a referendum, the entire system collapses ideologically. So then the question becomes, then what remains? The only one single option that seems appeasable is war. A war with Israel or an American strike? Because nothing unites a population like an external enemy. But here's the danger. America has done this before in Iraq, in Venezuela, different methods, but same results. So I ask the final question. If the regime falls, then who benefits? Not Iran, for sure, because Iran is not one identity. It is dozens. Iran has Kurds, Arabs, separatists, Persians, militia collapses. It collapses means fragmentation, and fragmentation means civil war, regional chaos. Turkey loses gas, the Gulf faces armed militia instead of one single state, and Israel gains fragmentation. So we are left with three scenarios. The regime weakens and collapses slowly. The Shah's son returns Iran, handing Iran to foreign interest without a war, or Iran burns from within. Sounds like all these three options are more like three different disasters, which leaves only two real solutions. Either a foreign power that temporarily saves the regime, or a historic moment where the regime steps aside and let Iranian people choose their own future themselves. Without America, without Israel, without sanctified rulers. So here's the final question, and it's not rhetorical. Do you believe the Iranian regime is willing to give up power? Or will it destroy Iran before it lets go? I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please like, subscribe, and do all that good stuff in YouTube. And again, thank you for watching.